Hello, Astro newbies. So here's a live interpretation, a short version of Elon Musk's chart. Just because I think he's an amazing individual and because his chart is just so exciting in a way that it is so adequate and accurate compared to his life and what we know of him and what we don't know of him. So the first thing that every astrologer will look at when they open his chart is this conjunction of his North Node and Mars in Aquarius. And this is just super hilarious because Elon Musk, as we all know, plans to bring humanity to Mars and already is building spaceships, already is sending them to Mars, and he has this huge vision of creating a civilization and life on Mars again. Well, again in brackets. So for those who don't know what this means, the North Node is our life goal, so what we develop towards. It's what we don't know and we kind of haven't really had experience in this area of life in our past. So having a North Node in Aquarius means that a person has a South Node in Leo. So Elon has past lives in the archetype of Leo, and his soul memory was conditioned to Leo, which means he came into this life believing that he's the king, that he deserves to get it all. He had this intrinsic feeling that he deserves to be royalty, he deserves to be on top. But in order to get there, people with a Leo South Node need to let go exactly of that feelings of grandiosity and need to completely dedicate their life's work to humanity and not propagate themselves or promote themselves as a person and their talents, but create something that is of worth to humanity. And only then can they get the royalty and this kind of high position in society that they crave. And Elon obviously has achieved that very well because all of his life's work was meant to improve humanity and to bring us new technology, to bring us into the future, which is what brings me to Aquarius, because his North Node is in Aquarius, and Aquarius is the future. It's a sign that represents futuristic new inventions, that represents geniuses that bring in revolutionary new technologies that change the course of humanity. So, and it represents humanitarianism. So Elon definitely has checked all of these three boxes in his early development already. What is funny though is that you can see in his chart he's got Mars conjuncting the North Node. So if the North Node is what we are developing towards, the planet that is close to it, it gives more information of what we are developing towards. So Elon is obviously developing towards Mars, which is exactly what he is doing. He is developing a mission to bring humanity to Mars and himself, maybe. So maybe thinking further, that means that everybody who in their chart has Mars conjunct the North Node will maybe be part of this new colony on Mars. Just a thought, but maybe not. So he is developing towards Mars. He made this very real. Normally we would just figuratively interpret what Mars can mean, and we would say that Mars means that this is a person who needs to develop their assertiveness and their willpower and their fighter, like the inner fighter, like to be able to push through what you want. And maybe Elon didn't have much of that when he was young, but he started developing it. But in his case, we can take this Mars next to his North Node quite literally, because he is developing new technologies that bring people and himself to Mars. And that is like the most perfect accomplishment of his life development purpose. So Elon, you're done. You could die now. You've made it as a human on this earth. Thank you very much. However, there is more interesting things about his chart. So many people say that Elon is a psychopath because he, wants to merge humans with technology. Looking at his chart, I don't think that he is truly, because first of all, he's a Cancer. And Cancer people are very emotional, and they do care about other people, and they do care about people they love. However, he's got his moon in Virgo, which is Earth moon. So his like expressions of emotion are not very accentuated. So he's very kind of withheld when it comes to expressing emotions, and he's very logical. Even with his emotions, he's very analytical and logical. So he's not a type of person that has, huge mood swings. He's very held together, let's say. Plus, he still belongs to the Pluto and Virgo generation. And Pluto and Virgo people want to serve. So they have this deep generational conditioning to want to serve others in a way. Plus, not to mention this, his developmental goal is Aquarius. So he wants to contribute to humanity to be better. And I think that everything he does really comes from a place of wanting to make the world better. But it also comes from a place of realizing his own dreams. For example, Neptune represents our dreams, and we can see that his Neptune is in Sagittarius, conjuncting Jupiter. Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, and Jupiter has a double signature on this Neptune. So this Neptune is twice affected by Jupiter, once because it is in Sagittarius and once because Jupiter stands right next to it. What does Jupiter do when it influences something? It makes it bigger, like tenfold. So this Neptune, his dreams are expanded 20-fold through this positioning. So he's got huge dreams. And not only dreams, but belief. Like he's a believer. For him, it's not a dream. It's actually a reality. He can see this. Like he's a visionary. He has a complete conviction that whatever he believes, he can realize. Because of his Mars conjuncting the North Node, which says that he didn't have much assertiveness when he was younger. And then additionally, he has Chiron in Aries, which says his Aries energy is hurt. And Aries energy is again connected to Mars, which like twice in his chart, we can see that he has some problems with asserting himself and feeling that he has the right to take space and to take up place and to say what's going to be done, kind of to take that leadership position. So it was not easy for him to step into that. So, in the beginning, he's been doing it from the background. He hasn't been, very public when he started building his first companies. And it just kind of came to him, this fame from his Leo South Node that he already had in past lives. So he was already famous in past lives. His fame came to him as soon as he gave up the need to be famous and dedicated his life to improve humanity. But still, he's got this Chiron in Aries, and he doesn't feel like, he didn't always feel like he has the right to come up and step out and share his ideas and delegate tasks and order people to work for him. He had a lot of problems with being strong and being a fighter and being authoritative and being egocentrical, like just saying, this is what I want it like this, like to display a very strong willpower. But that's what's needed to be an entrepreneur. So he obviously mastered even that. So that was one of his obstacles. And people tend to struggle with Chiron obstacles up until age 50 or more. So Elon seems to have been very, very quick in getting over the obstacles that are in his chart, kind of alchemizing all his blockages into strengths and accomplishing his life goal, which is impressive. We will see what he will do now that he is getting his Chiron return, because Chiron just entered into Aries last year, and in the coming years, Elon is going to have his Chiron return, which means it's going to be like the completion of his overcoming of this insecurities. He's going to fully step into this Aries power to be a leader and to be an authority and to show the way, to be an revolutionary. So very excited to see what is going to manifest for him in that moment. It's going to be something big for sure. And what else can we see? We can see that he has another thing that he is definitely trying to transform. That's his incapability to communicate properly. So Elon has a Mercury in Cancer, which is a Mercury that is not very well able to express itself. Mercury represents our thoughts, our mind, and our way of communicating. And additionally, we can see that he's got Saturn in Gemini, and Gemini is the house of the sign of communication. Saturn limits whatever he's in. So he has some limitations, like he doesn't feel very confident talking in front of people or generally talking. Like he's got these amazing ideas, but it's very hard for him to put it really into words and share it with people. So, but still, he's going out there and he's holding public speeches and he's confronting that. So, wow, everything in his chart is just showing that he is an exceptional individual that was very aware of his life purpose very early on and confronted all of his blockages and fears with bravery and has accomplished his goal. So that's my interpretation of Elon Musk. Let me know what you think, and I'm very excited to hear more opinions and more details about this. Thank you.